Hey everybody, Dennis McGrath here. I am here to tell you a little bit about the project that I created for my professional inquiry project. As I'd mentioned in one of my previous posts, I was looking at trying to find a few different ways to promote inquiry with my students. We have done some in the past, but making this more of a regular occurrence for them to have an opportunity to learn about some topics of their own choosing. So taking a look at my particular thing, I'm going to show you a handful of different things here, but we're going to start by looking at the a Jamboard that I created here. Let's take a look here. So my original questions that I had developed, I broke into three different areas. I wanted to look at the student teacher driven inquiry as well as teacher admin inquiry, where we could find some way to include the administration with student inquiry and how we could try to develop ways to potentially solve problems in the school and maybe even look at particular curriculum areas that may need to be addressed. Now, the last part of it was looking at the student community inquiry, and this incorporated, whether or not students wanted to talk to area businesses, wanted to have a conversation with school board members, city council members, and perhaps that's a little bit advantageous for fifth graders. It would be something that would be nice for them to be able to take a look at and try to develop over time. Now, after posting my stuff to the question section on Brightspace, I came up with one overarching question. And this is what I came up with is how can I develop an environment that fosters student-led inquiry and encourages them to research their interests? Now, the tricky part that I've had in the past is where, their interests today might be very limited to sports or, professional athletes or singers and such. And what I wanted to do with this particular project is try to come up with a way that my students could kind of think outside that box, like outside of their comfort zone. And I actually, prior to break, I had an opportunity here. I apologize. I'm going to kind of sneak through my documents here. I had an opportunity to ask my students, what are some words that they could think of that would help define the process of inquiry and how to do this on their own? And some of the words they came up with communication, teamwork, research, learning, creativity, perseverance. Perseverance is one of my favorite words. I use this on a pretty regular basis with my students, with my athletes. That not everything is going to happen, just like that. That they're going to have to work for it, uh, help others, and have fun. At the end of the day, the purpose of this is not only to learn, but it's also to enjoy what you're doing as well. So jumping back into my Jamboard here, I looked up some resources, and there were some things that helped me through this process. When I post this to the Brightspace, you'll have an opportunity to check out these articles that I've posted, but to help me better understand the process as well as some things that I could share with my students as well. And going back into my document here, I'd like to go, I think if I go up a little bit here, that this would be something that when I shared this, I actually shared this with my students here. I'm going to open it up real quick, and it's just from Edutopia. What the heck is inquiry-based learning? And we went down through this and we took a look at some of the overarching areas for this particular project, and we looked at developing questions, researching a topic, especially something that you're really interested in learning more about, and then creating some sort of a project-based presentation to share out your learning with your fellow classmates, and then after have an opportunity to reflect on what they learned. And I'm really excited that next week when the kids get back to be able to actually jump into this, and I really think that they are going to be motivated to really take off with this project. And actually, has was quite a buzz in the classroom before we left for break. So I'm I'm excited. Now, moving along here, what we're looking for here is essentially student documentation. Now, again, the link down here, the only one thing I'm not a huge fan of Jamboard is it doesn't allow me to post a link that you can click right on. And maybe if I can, please let me know how to do that. But I do have it pulled up right here. So the paperwork that they're going to be filling out here is essentially basically what do they, it's kind of a roadmap, if you will. How do they want to proceed with this particular project? What do they want to learn a little bit more about? What are the resources that they plan to use? Will it be internet? Will it be books? Will it be articles, etc.? Will it be interviews? That is something that they're going to build into this particular project. And just like I did with mine, is what is their driving question? What do they want to discover through this particular process? And what I wanted them to do here is they're going to record any websites that they used or any publications. We're still kind of in the infancy phase in fifth grade with how to properly document and how to cite sources. So at least providing the source that we used is definitely a great way to use as a stepping stone for this particular project. And coming down here, they choose a platform. How are they going to do this? Are they going to use, for their presentation, are they going to use, like I have here with Jamboard, or will it be a Google slide, Google document? Will it be a video, a YouTube video that they put together? That is all up to them, their decision. And I really support anything that they're able to come up with. And jumping back in here again, we're going to go to, so again, the presentation and our rubric. I will tell you the one thing that in my 13 plus years of teaching that has always been kind of a thorn in my side is creating what I find to be adequate and equitable rubrics. Now this is just kind of in its, again, a baby phase here. I'll pull up the rubric that I've come up with so far. And this kind of is very similar to ones that I use for regular reading book projects. Ones that we presented prior to break. The kids chose a book that was a Newbery Honor or a Newbery Award winning book and created a cereal box and a cereal based on the book that they read. So it's kind of similar to that. I did weight the research part of this very heavily. Presentations. These kids that I have done minimal presenting in front of their peers. So fifth grade is really kind of a coming out year for that. So, I don't weight it very heavily, but typically when kids come up in front of the class, I give them full points. I think it's important for them to get comfortable with this, and it's something I wish I was forced to do when I was younger, because I did not become comfortable talking in front of people until I was probably about 20 years old. So, and again, looking at the question part of it, what is this question that they're looking at to answer throughout their research process? So, and finally here, just providing them with some quotes that really, for me, I'm very much, I post a new quote each week in my classroom, and one that I added in here from Ben Franklin: tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. And I'm very much a proponent of inclusion and having them really explore on their own. So I'm interested in your feedback. I hope you enjoyed this. Take care. We'll talk soon.